Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Your Guess is as Good as Mine on how to pronounce this. I think Bliili, I'm going to guess. It's by CZT Annett Ruempler. And Annette, if you ever watched, please let us know in the chat if we've pronounced it right. All right, this is it's a neat tangle for a number of reasons, and as I was nosing through, I kind of just finding inspiration. I was like, oh, this is neat, number one. And two, it seems like it's been a while since I've done one that's kind of geometric. I try to, I'm posting every day, and so I'm trying to, change things up a bit. All right, so this one, it's sort of a grid, but not a grid. We would call that, the reticula is like this. We're going to just draw some straight lines, and I think I'm going to try to do, let's say, 3 across. So let's see if I can get this good. And I'm going to use the entirety of my little bijou tile. Oh, that one's a little bit small. Let's see. That's not too bad. All right, but I'm going to, all right. I was going to change up my pen, but it might just be that yeah, there we go. Just got a little bit too much on the side, and some of it is not going to matter. All right, then we're going to do it kind of like a zigzag. So I'm just going to go ahead and start at the bottom, and I want to, on purpose, make them. Let me try it this way. With these micron pens, actually, you know what? I'm just going to add this because, just because. There we go. So I'm going off the page a little bit. All right. I could try to do the same one over here, but since I know I could. Watch. Sorry, hold on a second. Okay, that'll make me feel better. All right, and then this one would then go up, but you're not going to really see that, are you? Okay. So, up and down once. I was partly thinking of making sure to make them at a nice angle. As you do this, then you can kind of play with what angle you like. All right, and we're going to go, actually, this, right now, it just looks like Charlie Brown's t-shirt, right? Or his shirt. And the distance between these also, of course, up to you. What I am working to do is make them consistent, and sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't, but I do believe with this tangle, it's not necessarily going to matter so much. Okay. I have a feeling this one I'm going to have to hit pause on it at some point, maybe. And then, too, coming back here, I want to keep that a similar distance there, and we will get that in. I guess that's maybe a little bit thinner than it was. And, why don't I just turn it? We'll do the same thing here. So if you're doing something off the page, it's just kind of nice to, or if you're doing something where you have some kind of a border, it's nice to finish those little pieces. Okay, next is pick a place to start, any place to start. Well, why don't I'm going to just start right here. And what we're going to do is put a double set of lines in like so. Now, you could, and I'm going to try my very best to keep them close. Kind of like using the hollow ball technique, but it's a really great distance to do. Okay, so once you get one side, like this, so we're going every other one. The next row, or column, I should say, we're gonna do on the opposite. So this one would be here. We're trying to put this double line in the center. Now I'm doing this with the 01. I'm going to follow it up with I'm going to color it in with a thicker pen, and then of course obviously then this column opposite again, right? So we're going to go back to where we were. It's up to you how you could just do this period with a thicker pen if you want. Sometimes it's nice to kind of alternate that. And I'm going to then, and now we're just going to fill it in. The reason that a lot of times I don't think to do it right off the bat is because, having the fine lines and having them meet together, you need the fine line. Where coloring in is a little bit different. I'm just careful on those edges, and so I can back off, or I'm coloring in just a little bit inside, so I'm not really touching those edges. But either way works. Sometimes, sometimes what I end up doing also is coming back and just kind of cleaning up the edge with the fine line, and so that helps too. So hindsight, of course, I could have done this and then come back if I needed to with the fine line, just to make sure. But whichever way you do it works. Now I'll also share, if you felt like doing this in a particular color, of course you could. This is I like the again, I like the geometricness of it. Alright, and trying to keep on the next part, we'll just see. If it ends up taking too long, I will do the pause and come back. Alright. So there we have it. Now for the next step. This one, I got the hang of it, and kind of once I did, then it was fine. So this one, let's see. So starting here, and I'm going to leave these little end things, blank until the end. So let's start here. Okay, so whatever your upper, and I'm going to leave these upper ones blank for now as well. So on your first, one like this, we're going to go to the one just underneath it. And whichever way you want to turn your tile, you can. But what we're going to do is a curved line from this edge, kind of to the middle-ish. Whatever seems to work for you for a curved line, like so. Then, from the far corner, so it's almost like we're doing the curve in the same direction, but now we're going to go from this corner to this corner. And, as curvy as it'll be. And then we're going to repeat that, on these going down this way. Now this one, we're obviously not going to see this. We will see just that. Okay. I almost hesitate because the next step we're going to fill in this, and we're going to fill in this. This one, I kind of got a little bit, I found myself getting a little bit, confused or lost, whichever way you want to slice it. So I'll leave that to you. If you want to fill in at this point, feel free. But I'm gonna do all of these steps in the other rows. So then the next one, we're going in the opposite direction. So looking at this, we're going to work in this one right here. And we're going to do that curved line, again, from the edge of this solid line, again, kind of to the middle. And then from the far corner to the top. See? And so they're kind of mirrored. So again, from just this side, and then from there. I'm thinking to get a nice, depending on how yours are, mine, it's seeming a little bit more straight if I line it up where I'm kind of merging in here, that seems to work a little better. And then feel free to, turn your tile so that way your hand is comfortable. That is why I am turning mine. Okay, now this column, we're back to the same as this. Okay, so I'm going to start here because that makes it easy. Always good to do the easy first. And we're going to the opposite side. So really, we're copying this on this side here. And here. Oh, and then, okay, this one, we probably won't see that one, but we will see this line. All right, and then, so I'll figure out the other ones momentarily. But as I mentioned, then the next step, and this is essentially the final step before we do some shading, is we're going to color in that little corner piece. And then, well, as I have marked here, the outside. Oh, let's see, I've gotten into the other piece there. But you know what? I'm going to do some shading there. And it will cover up anything else. Okay? And then again, just filling in those two sections on each side. And then on this, it's still the same sections. It's just obviously in a different area. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit pause on my end. And if you are tangling along with me, then we'll be done at the same time. So when you're done, you can unpause. So if you pause at the same time, and then I'll have to get this little guy up here. And then we will be then ready for some shading. Okay, see you back in a minute. Okay, welcome back. As you can see, it is all done. Now, one thing, if you do something like I said, this where you have little partial boxes, you just have to be careful and think what portion of the tangle you have there. Now, for some shading, because that's basically it. And if you don't have to add shading if you don't want to, but if you do, I thought this looked really, really neat. Yeah. Okay, that's right. Okay, so this is, I'm just going to put some graphite. Now, you don't have to put it over the black, because, well, that would just be silly. Oops. And this is where you usually find out where you forgot a little, partial box there, like that. Okay. So I'm just putting some graphite. Well, actually, I'm gonna put it on both sides. Yep, that's right. I'm checking this little partial box here just to make sure I had it right. I did. Because with it, the way this kind of flips backwards, it's really, really neat. I like it, but it's one of those that takes a minute. You gotta think about it. Oops, and let's get this little side here. We can't forget that. All right. Now you could run the tortillon on both sides, but because this is still wet. Now if you're using a Zentangle tile, like I'm using, it is a cotton tile. And so unless you give it some nice drying time, it can end up taking up some of the paper as well as, the ink. And it's just, just try to avoid that at all costs. Oh, and if you can see, I like doing this sometimes. I should have waited to put the graphite on here, but what I think is so cool is look at how metallic that's coming off now. And you know what, let me just do this side. It's good to, along with your same idea with your pencil, to point it to where you want your graphite to be the darkest. And then also same idea with the tortillon. All right, then I'm going to just flip. It also, I mean, besides that, it just works better than kind of, going over where you want it. It just works better if you have the tip on the line that you are looking to smudge the graphite. Okay. And then you can bring it in as much as you need to. You do want to make sure that you have some of the original tile color in there, so that way you get this really neat rounded / metallic look. Now, one thing that you could certainly do is, I could put a little bit more. We'll just try it right here. Some of it got a little bit light, it seems. Let's say, because you could just, do a swath right up the middle like that. And see, and I'm not following my own little rule here. What's it? Oh, your rules are made to be broken. Right. It's one of those, at least on the initial step, I like to make sure to do that. But yeah, so, and and let me see right here. Try to bring it in just a little bit more. And this is where it's just kind of fun playtime, just to experiment with that. Now, one thing I will say, because I'm trying to avoid this black, but I want the graphite to look like I've covered over it. So I'm kind of going right up to it. And again, because I don't necessarily want to touch it. Oops. Okay. But that's just, again, it's fun to play and see what you like. Start, on the light side, and then you can always add more. You can always go in more. But it's just, I don't know, I think it's a really, really cool tangle. Let's see. And if we turn it, the neat thing about Zentangle, right, especially these geometric ones, there's for sure no up, no down, there's no right way with them. But, it just has a really neat look, in my opinion. So I really like it. Thanks, Annette, for coming up with it. All right, so in the description section, you will find step outs, as well as I'll put a link to Annette's blog and probably the Tangle patterns as well. I will double check those, just so that if there's more interesting stuff to be had, I like to make sure that you have it. Also, below that, you'll find ways to connect with me if you want. I do both paid and free classes. I do more free classes than I do paid, frankly. I actually have right now. I'm doing. I do 2 sessions on Thursdays, which are free, where we explore a tangle. This was almost going to be tomorrow's tangle, but I really wanted to do it today. So, you can find the information on my website and connect. Also have a nice Facebook group going, and information is there as well. If you enjoyed the video, would love to have a thumbs up, click that like button, as well as if you've not subscribed yet, would love to have you be a subscriber. Hit that button, and then also make sure to hit the notification bell next to it so you can decide how you want to be notified, if you want to be notified at all. So with that, I really appreciate you watching and having fun with me with this tangle, and enjoy it, and I wish you happy tangling.